Movies are a wonderful thing that almost every person enjoys. Most people have a favorite movie, and usually we determine our favorite movie based on how it makes us feel. But why do movies make us feel things? There must be a reason why movies are able to make us laugh, cry, and become frightened. But what happens that makes us react the way we do? Is there something in the film we watch, or is it something we've developed? Maybe, if we've evolved with the evolution of technology, there's a way we could use the technology in films to help cope with mental issues and illnesses, to see how emotions work in watching an ordinary movie or others like it. Just like it has for a lot of other industries, technology has completely changed the film industry. From the way movies get made, to how they are edited, to the way audiences watch them. Technology has simplified life for everyone involved in making a movie. Just 50 years ago, cameras had a full crew to operate them. It was long, hard work that still only resulted in low quality images. Technology has taken the film industry from silent, black and white films to high definition movies that are capable of making the audiences feel as if they were there. But today, new, lighter cameras have allowed for clearer images and shots that were never thought possible. For audiences, it's no longer necessary to arrive at your local theater to see the one nightly show of the movie. On demand, streaming services and TV have allowed the audiences to watch their favorite movie wherever, whenever they want. The making of any film can now be done with something as simple as a phone. Why do we have emotions in movies? Emotions serve several physical and psychological purposes. Most scientists believe that emotions are one of the fundamental traits associated with being human. Emotions color people's lives and give them depth and differentiation. In humanity, strong emotions have always been linked to creativity and expressions. Psychologically, emotions are an aid to the survival instinct. For example, sudden fear often causes a person to freeze like a deer caught by a car's headlights. Every person unconsciously learns to read the outward expression of other people and apply past experiences to determine what these outer signs indicate about what the person is feeling. This is known as emotional intelligence. Some outward expressions of emotions, known as body language, mean different things in different cultures. If a young person avoids looking directly at a person with authority, it is taken as a sign of respect in some cultures. In other cultures, this expression suggests guilt or lack of honesty. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability a person has to monitor their own and other people's emotional states and to use this to act according in relationships. There are tests that can measure emotional intelligence. Scientists who study emotions generally believe that people with high emotional intelligence usually work well in cooperative situations. Chemistry of emotions. There's a specific formula that generates in our brain, the chemistry of how films can manipulate and how they sway our emotions. The main chemical that makes up the emotions during films is adrenaline. This emotion is the most stimulated during scenes that are thrilling or scary. Norepinephrine can also come up in particular scary scenes, as it is the chemical that controls the flight or fight response in humans. Then, when there are scenes that make us laugh or feel with joy, dopamine is released. Lastly, serotonin is produced when we get to scenes that make us cry and feel helpless for our characters. Chemistry plays a large role in movie making experiences. Emotions are 100% chemistry related. Some of our most intense emotional experiences come from when we're watching a film. How are filmmakers able to produce emotions within us? One way that we perceive emotions in films is through the process called mirror rule, which says that it's a good idea to mimic the visual input that you're seeing. If you watch somebody in the theater and there's a smiling face filling up the screen, most of the audience is going to pop a little bit of a smile as a natural reflex. When we're smiling, we tend to feel happier. When we're frowning, we tend to feel angrier. So, this combination of the mirror rule and the reading of emotions by the brain of the current state of the body is enough to produce emotions and, in some cases, create what we call a mood swing. Why do we cry at movies? Facial mirroring causes your face to wind up in a sad expression, and that evokes a sad emotion. You've identified with the character, and you're reasoning about the fact that they would be sad, and that produces empathic sadness in you. Music plays a big role in emotion in film. Often, Sad movies have a slow minor key music to the point where they're trying to make you cry. We encounter minor key music in real life. We see people who cry, and we watch bad things happen to other people. All these things make us feel sad. You can put a big crying face that fills up your whole visual field so there's no other place to look. Adding to this element, you can create situations that are upsetting. Why do we flinch when something is thrown unseen? Another general principle of human behavior is called the success rule. In the past, when we have perceived an emerging object, that means that there's something coming at your head, and the good thing to do would be to duck. This happens due to the fact that we have this whole lifetime of experiences outside the theater with how to deal with physical objects and their movements. We don't turn that off. We can't shut that reaction, or if something was really flying at our heads, we wouldn't be able to respond. During all of film history, it is clearly observed that to avoid looking at our own life, we seek comfort in films. What we don't reason is the unconscious similarities we always seem to select when choosing a film. Does all of this extend to watching TV or a YouTube video in your computer? Bigger screens produce a bigger response, so your response to watching a film on your phone is probably not going to be as strong as it would be in the theater, and your total focus isn't in all the details. When you go to a play in the theater, does the same mechanism apply? Returning to how movies can use all the elements at the same time. In theater, you can't do close-ups, you can't do cuts, and you have much less control over where the people are looking in the theater than in the film. That means that you're gonna have less consistent and less powerful responses overall. It's a common belief that you get along best with those who share your interests. Does it also have an effect on your health? The kind of movies you watch can directly affect you. Number 1, it can improve your health. Watching sad movies can actually close off your brain's access to anxiety. After watching a sad film, you'll typically come away from it feeling happy about what you have and thinking about all of your loved ones. Watching comedies can also improve your health as they aid in lowering your blood pressure. Number 2, it can hurt your health. On the contrary, watching scary or thrilling movies can hinder your health. When we watch an intense movie or show, our heart rate as well as our blood pressure increases. Horror movies can affect you in the way that you never considered. When you're scared, your adrenaline goes through the roof. This can trigger repressed traumatic memories, since your body is mimicking how you felt during those unfortunate events. Number 3, it can make you more creative or more aggressive. On one hand, the movie you watch may make you more creative. So watching movies may boost your levels of creativity. On the other hand, your movie choices may make you more aggressive. Cinema clearly has some sort of sensational ability to affect every one of our emotions. How can films help our mental health? Well, cinema therapy is a real thing. It's prescribed by therapists. It is often self-administered. Being aware that movies can change the way we think, feel, and ultimately deal with life's ups and downs can make watching them invaluable. Watching movies encourages emotional release. This happens because the release of emotions can have a relaxing effect and also make it easier for a person to become more comfortable with expressing their emotions. Watching movies helps us make sense of our life. For many years, knowledge and wisdom have been passed down through the art of storytelling. Stories offer us different perspectives and help us understand and make sense of the world, and movies are stories. We are transported to a different place and can just focus on the present moment for a short time. This gives our brain a much needed rest from the usual. This is only one of the reasons why movies bring us a sense of relief, even if they are stressing us out first. Films are a way for humans to escape their reality, whether it's someone else's life, a problem, or a fantastic universe. Using films as a way to rest from our day-to-day lives has proven to make an improvement in our mental health. There's still a long way to go in the technological advancements we can have in filmmaking, and there's just as much room to study and develop how films can help mental illnesses. The purpose of this research isn't to encourage sedentary lifestyle. We do incline to stating that watching a movie that might make you produce an emotion that was stuck in your mind isn't a bad way to learning how to deal and cope with your feelings.